Yeah, so it's going to be going into game number 5 here with a score of 3-1 in favor of Bioice. Let me say here. Yes, a little bit about the show match here. This is the StarCraft 2 Community Team League channel you're watching. I'm Wingnet SC, and with me is Jackson, joining me for the first time, literally ever.
Yes.
Casting so far going so good. It's been a good time hanging out. We've got a good show match here between Bioice and Intense. Bioice representing Team Ascension, I believe it is, and Intense
right.
on representing Psystorm. So far it's been kind of both ways. I mean, it started out with Intense just showing a really, really strong game against Bioice, picking me apart, then Bioice coming back and pretty much flipping the tables altogether on Intense.
Yeah, really impressively so. And in the past 2 games, he's actually really shown us that I'm not so sure about Game 4, but in Game 3, he really showed us that it wasn't just, okay, I can make it to macro and I'm fine now. He really can just kind of get the all in, get the read on what his opponent Intense is doing, and capitalize on it.
Yeah. So going into game number 5, the past is the past. So we're gonna let that puppy lie. Going into Nimbus LE, it's gonna be game number 5. Intense now in a best of 7 is on the chopping block. So he needs to get back to the mental state. You could tell that he's been he tilted a little bit there, and we took a little bit longer break between these games. Hopefully he took a breath, got himself back in the zone, and going into Nimbus, a fairly large map, 4-player map, so there's lots of space to operate. Be able to go back to his core strengths, which are dropping, which are harassment, which are be able to take a game back to extend this series. Otherwise, Bioice is going to be coming away with one more win. We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, and I mean, it kind of depends a little bit on the spawns here, but you're right. The dropping here it's strong, especially after about the 15-minute mark when things get spread out. And actually, the spawns are kind of what I would like to see for him. Main base to natural of the Zerg Bioice.
Yep, and on this map, which is game number 5, it is going to be in the lower right-hand corner, wearing pink once again. He is our Terran player, down by 2 games. It is Intense. And also, he is Intense.
There we go. And in the top right, he's 1 game away, I believe, if I can do math right. The green Zerg player fighting for Team Ascension and the Canadian fans and family is the green Zerg Bioice.
All of Canada. Sorry, Troy.
Yes.
I had to.
Yes.
So, as I was saying, Intense. He's down, and he's played a couple of games that were a little bit shaky. Needs to get back to the core of his playstyle, core of his mentality. How is he going to do that, Jackson?
I mean, I think a lot of it's going to have to do with him just being really on top of his scouting. It's a very fast drone scout from Bioice, and I would really like to see Intense kind of pick up on the fact that, immediately something is coming from the north position. Looks like Bioice is going to expose it by going right in. So he's going to really need to see what's going on. He had no scouting whatsoever in the last game, and I think that's part of what really kind of threw him off. And then on top of that, he just really needs to just kind of comfortably get himself to a position where, like 2 or 3 bases, he can really just kind of drop, attack, deny creep. And at the same time, he really needs to just not let Bioice go uncontested, which I feel like he did that for a large portion in the second game.
Yeah, and I mean, it's looking a lot like, also fair to note that the first 3 games we saw fairly consistent play, Ling, Bailey, Muta out of Bioice. Looks like he's reverting back to that after going for about I think it was about a 14 pool in game number 4. And so it looks like he's going to be going back to the Ling, Bailey, Muta style, which worked very well for him in game number 2 and game number 3, and Intense going to be getting a Reaper out here pretty quickly. In the past couple games, I guess every game so far tonight, Intense has put down a pretty early expansion. And in this base, you've got an in-base expansion, so it's pretty darn secure.
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's just no fear that he's going to get his second up. And I think in Intense's mind, in Bioice's mind, there's almost kind of no real fear that this second's going to be like easily attackable. I think the more question is whether this natural is going to go down or not, which he's going to be able to scout with an Overlord pretty soon. And the Reaper, he didn't recognize the fast drone. He was actually really noticing it. That's a very kind of, got to be on point thing. And it's just going to walk its whole way around. Bioice is not going to have any fear whatsoever. Queens are going to be completely up, and it's really going to do not very much beyond seeing the kind of same thing he's been seeing.
And he's going to be going pretty much everywhere except the location his opponent is, and even the Overlord came in from the top side, which is a little bit of giveaway as to the location. Is Intense a little bit rattled? I'm not sure. We'll see. Hopefully, he can get it together. He is getting the 4 Marines that he had in the previous 2 games, and will be switching the barracks with the factory and getting up to about 4 Hellions and making it push.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's really just trying to do the same thing he has been. No gas this time, so he's not going for the Banshee. He's really trying to get the same Hellion or Hellbat push. He actually might be able to get this Overlord. He
just hovered right over that little tower and wasn't able to see it.
A really lucky kind of pathing. Wow, really fast third base. From Bioice.
He tried to put it down a little bit faster, but the Reaper was there and prevented the drone from actually being able to put it down. But speed is done now, so Ling's headed across the map, but not going to be able to get a whole lot done as the supply depot once again is down, but there are lots of units on it that will pretty much roast those Zerglings right away.
Yeah, I wonder if Bioice is just so comfortable in seeing the same thing again and again and again that he is just kind of molding himself to just be as comfortable and as greedy as he can.
So, I mean, Intense, we haven't really seen to be a huge turtle Terran. He likes to be very aggressive.
Yes.
And with that, it feels to me like Bioice picked this map. When actually Intense lost the last game, so he picked this map. But this seems sort of the advantage of Bioice. So, this map is great if you're a turtle Terran because you've got the in-base expand. You can turtle up, get a strong 2-base push going, and then kind of expand your way out. We've seen that several times from Yoshi, if you paid attention to any of the Yumacon event here a few weeks ago. But I mean, so Bioice with taking this early third, he's going to be able to spread out here relatively quickly, be able to defend it a lot easier, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. Baneling Nest has not finished yet, which is a little bit scary, but I was actually really kind of hoping to see an elevator play from Intense, dropping those Marines, getting those Hellions in, because the Lings are spread well, but there was not very many, and he's actually going to be able to clean them up pretty well, and might even be able to deny this.
These 4 Queens getting caught a little bit here, picking up 2 Hellions,
really
and
nice
Hellbats dropping in front of him.
Yeah, sorry, he really able to kind of keep them from going up. Bunch of Banelings and really excellent splits. Wow, he only lost 2 of the Hellbats.
Yeah, so this is definitely a demonstration of Intense's style of play here. He's getting back to basics. He's really utilizing his micro. We did not see this at all from him in the last 2 games.
Yeah, I mean, just a small amount of units is really giving Bioice such a hard time. He's equalized the worker count, and yeah, I mean, he's going to get cleaned up, but the kind of long-term economic damage he's really done is pretty impressive. He's slowed down a fast third so incredibly well. There hasn't been a drone there since it's been created, and it's now 9 minutes.
Yeah, and he lost 3 Queens in that, so that's going to be kind of a big deal. And now 4 more Hellions are headed across the map, so Bioice was kind of headed out with these Banelings, but these slow Banelings off creep are just going to be fodder for these Hellions here, especially if they stay clumped up. But Intense is being really smart here, so he's recognized that this third base is out here, so he's just going to try and keep the pressure on like he did in game number 1. So you can have this third base, but But lag.
Believe that's
Intense, come back
again. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. The more he can keep the Zerg on a 2-base, I mean, yeah, he's getting Larva from the third base, but the more he can keep him on a 2-base economy, the more he can just comfortably solidify his third base, solidify his barracks and starport production, and really just kind of comfortably say, oh, I'm going to drop here, I'm going to deny creep here, I'm going to attack your third from the left side while I'm also attacking the main ramp. And I think as long as he can just really just kind of keep this from going any further, I think he's going to be really, really comfortable going in the mid game.
And Intense is definitely having some lag issues here as He's went ahead and paused the game. He's kind of lagged a couple times, but it looks like he's okay. Just waiting for an unpause here. And looks like we're back. I mean, you do not want to have lag, especially with the type of micro-intense plays that he's doing here. I mean, that could be the difference between keeping all 4 Hellions and losing all or most of them. But I think that, Intense is kind of settling back here now. He is getting Cloak, he's getting Banshees, so he's teching a little bit, getting Widow Mines. So Bioice here, I think, is going to be able to secure this third here relatively quickly. He's got a lot of Zerglings now. He's got a lot of Banelings.
Yeah, absolutely. He is going to be able to kind of comfortably get at this. Banshee's going to be a little bit annoying, but some good Baneling hits will do it. He is going to lose another Queen though. Not really kind of. He looks to be going for a counterattack at the same time. One of the scariest things about this third base is there's no 5th or 6th gas, and that really hurts a Mutalisk economy, and you might actually just lose it.
Oh, the supply depot was down, everybody. Once again, the Zerglings are going to get in, and they are just going to ravage the base here. One Widow Mine does survive, and he's going to pull all the SCVs, splitting up the Zerglings between the main base and the natural expansion area. He's going to clean them up relatively easy. Only loses 2 SCVs so far, and more are going to be falling.
Just a couple of SCVs are going to go down. Needs to get to his natural pretty quickly, but that was really well handled. He's able to take out the third base and start moving into the main of Bioice at the same time with really good pre-splits against these Banelings.
Ooh, did lose a couple Hellions there that were clumped together, but he is getting a lot of work done with this Banshee here. Now flying into the Spore Crawler a little bit. Those Hellbats just chasing around those drones. They want to get them so bad.
They're going to switch back. There's really just no defense here for Bioice. He's just trying to keep these drones from just getting roasted alive. Good deal of them going down, but this is going to be able to be cleaned up by Bioice.
Yeah, and honestly, it seems like Bioice has kind of slipped back into that game 1 mentality a little bit here too, in that with the pressure that Intense has been putting on, he hasn't been able to drone as much as he wants. He's been spending a lot, and he's also been teching once again on this low economy, going for these Mutalisks. And I'm not sure that that's going to really be enough to save him because the turrets are going down.
No, he's not going to be able to poke very well with the Mutalisk. I mean, Intense absolutely knows what's coming. At the same time, the lack of gas is very hard to get that up. And the drone count has just been so low. The SCV count has been in Intense's favor for such a long time now. And I mean, now he's really comfortably on his third base and you start getting the gas from it as well. It's really just a scary, terrifying spot to be in as the Zerg.
Yeah, and looking at the upgrades, Intense already has 1/1 done. +2/+2 is over half done. Bioice, no upgrades except for Zergling speed. So Intense using his economic advantage here to get those upgrades so that when the armies do clash together, he's going to be having a big advantage in that department as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And a double expansion coming from Bioice, it's the right idea. He's got to get economy. He's got to get gas up. But I'm almost afraid that it's just kind of this desperation. Can I make this? I don't think I can hold it kind of decision.
I mean, he could keep Intense busy for quite a while here with these Mutalisks. He's not going to get a whole lot of damage done, but he's going to cause trouble. Because these turrets here are going to prevent him from really getting a ton of damage done.
He showed us in the second game that he could really keep Intense at bay, but I'm almost wondering that Intense is just going to keep as close a tab on this as possible to make sure that it does not matter. A good deal of SCVs do go down, getting closer to equalizing the worker count.
Yeah, it's 51 drones to 51 SCVs now, and he did kill 14 SCVs here at the natural expansion of Intense, but catching it off guard a little bit before those turrets are done. But man, these turrets are doing a lot of damage to these Mutalisks here, as they're going to have to fly right over another one to get out, while Intense is moving across the map with a huge 2/2 upgraded army against a non-upgraded Zerg army.
Yeah, I mean, a handful of Mutas were really good a few minutes ago, but at this point, he really needs to have a big flock that can just really do a lot of damage. Scare Intense, and I think Intense just does not care about that small amount.
Yeah, GG called
pretty
there.
Good splits, and yeah, that's GG.
So I mean, that was a really good. It honestly seemed like, from Bioice's point of view, it seemed like Bioice is like, all right, I've got a 2-game lead. I'm just gonna relax a little bit.
Yeah, it was a very very fast third hatchery. He has a kind of a slow layer timing, which I think he's kind of comfortable with that. But yeah, I was wondering if he was getting a little bit cocky, a little bit too comfortable, thinking that he didn't really have to shoe in the win this match.
Yeah, he definitely seemed like he was not quite as on point in the last couple games as he has been. Intense was able to get back to that pressure that really kind of got in under Bioice's skin early there. And, which was able to really help him pick it apart. And Bioice was not able to really secure that third. And even once he double expanded there towards the end, he was never really able to use them. I mean, it seems like he banks a little bit too much maybe on those Mutalisks, because that's a lot of investment, a lot of money to get there. And I mean, at that late in the game, there's just it's hard to say. Hindsight is 2020, but it seemed like maybe really getting that base defended, getting some upgrades, maybe been a little bit more fruitful.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he has shown us he's got good Mutalisk control. He's shown us that he has really good Mutalisk decision making with where they need to be and what they need to be doing. But I mean, you're absolutely right. If he doesn't have the flock, if he doesn't have the economy or just the Baneling mass to defend behind that, it's really not going to be doing anything. And yeah, I would have liked to have seen 1-1. I'm not sure Centrifugal Hooks ever got completed. Something that would be a bit more, I need to hold down the fort until I'm ready to move out instead of just trying to take damage and then push the aggression as soon as possible.
Yeah, Centrifugal Hooks did finish up right at the end there, but I mean, fast Banelings with no upgrades against a pretty huge bio army still. I mean, he honestly got some pretty decent connections there, but I mean, once you see the splitting of Intense, it's just like magic happening on the screen.
No, he has really good splitting, and then he was really just in a position where losing a bunch of Marines to some good Baneling hits would have been problematic, but his economy and the amount of Marines he was able just to stream across the map almost would have made up for the fact that he would have missed microed a few Marines.